Hey, it's Shana, just a human from Los Angeles, here to help you pick up the pieces after your breakup. Today, I want to talk about the difference between ghosting and no contact, because even though they share some similar elements, they are very, very different things. I've only been ghosted once. It was about 8 years ago, maybe. And it really shook me to the core. I had been dating a guy, not for too long, maybe a month and a half or something like that, but it was like really, really intense. And the last conversation we had, he's like, "You are just everything I ever wanted in a girl," and and I'm so happy, and I'm skipping through the tulips, and there's rainbows and there's lollipops, and I literally never heard from him again. Silence. That's ghosting. That's disrespectful, rude, and no human being should ever do that to another human being. I'm not just saying that because I was the human being on one end of that, but the level of disrespect is just astounding, because I was just set in a total tailspin. I had no idea what happened. I tried reaching out to him. He wouldn't reply to text. I wrote a long email like, "Oh my God," and that was it. That's ghosting, and that is never appropriate. Now, let me just say, if you go out with a guy once, twice, maybe even 3 times, and he doesn't follow up, that's not ghosting. That's just, sorry, he's just not interested. Like, he just doesn't see that relationship going anywhere. And that's actually normal and okay dating behavior. Ghosting is after you have formed a bond and you two have talked about and agreed on the fact that you have created a bond, and then the other person just poof disappears like a ghost. Okay, that's ghosting. What is no contact? Now, you might be going, well, that sounds just like no contact, because no contact is when someone doesn't email you, they don't call you, they don't text you, they don't social media you, they definitely don't see you. Except the difference is that no contact happens in a respectful and a polite way after a breakup, meaning that two parties were in a conversation. Doesn't mean that they agreed on the outcome, but we're in a conversation where one of the parties decided it was time for a breakup. Okay, maybe both agreed that it was time for a breakup, but there was a breakup conversation. Okay, that's how healthy relationships end, with a breakup conversation. Now, I'm not saying that if you were broken up with, you never want to hear from them again, you don't want to talk to them, you don't want to email them, you don't want to call them, blah, 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 blah. Okay? I know that after a breakup, especially if you're on the receiving end, your heart is broken, your mind is all over the place, you can't think straight, you might feel sick, you can't sleep, and you literally feel like you're dying to talk to this person or to get into contact with this person. So I'm not saying that when someone puts you in no contact that it feels good, but it is a mature response to a breakup, okay? No contact means I am telling you now that we are broken up, and as such, we are not going to be communicating, at least for the time being. Now, keep in mind that no contact does not have to be forever, right? Somebody may decide because they need mental space, they need emotional space, they need physical space, that they want to go into no contact for a week or a month or 2 months or a year. And maybe at that point, they will decide that it's time, to reconnect, okay? No contact is just a way to regroup, okay? Because when we stay in contact with an ex, and again, I'm talking about someone that we actually had a breakup with, when we stay in contact with them, it doesn't really give us the opportunity to mentally or energetically break free from that emotional dependence. Okay, so that's the difference. Ghosting, that's something you should never do. No contact is something you might want to consider after a breakup, and it's actually quite effective.